We will now complete the entries in the specific question of Blue Rec Traders. Issued a check for 250 for stationery purchased. Okay, so first of all, we will write the word Alice so that we can remember that the assets and expenses increase on the debit side, liabilities, income, capital increase on the credit side. The first one is done for you. So stationery was purchased, so stationery is debited, bank is credited because we take money out of the bank. Stationery is expense, expenses increase on the debit side. The stationery will reduce your profit, so the owner will get less profit, so owner's equity will decrease with 250. Bank is an asset. We have less money in the bank, so assets will decrease with 250. In number 2, receive an invoice from ABC Traders for merchandise purchased at 5,000 less 20% trade discount. Now, first of all, you must remember that we never record trade discount or cash discount. We subtract the amount from the total and the reduced amount is recorded. So if I want to do this entry, I will have to show that I have to deduct the 20% from the 5,000. So I will say 5,000, and you can say times 20% and then deduct it, or you can say 80%. So 20% is 1,000 rand. So when we receive the invoice, on the invoice we will have 5,000 minus the discount of 1,000. So what we actually pay for the goods is 4,000. So that's my purchase price. And that is the amount that I will pay or that I owe to the creditors. So the only entry recorded would be for the 4,000 rand. Now, if we look at this entry, receive an invoice for merchandise purchase, they don't say that we pay for the merchandise. So this is a credit transaction. The account debited would be inventory because we are buying more trading stock. Trading stock is an asset. Assets increase on the debit side, so we will debit our trading stock account. Trading stock is an asset, so we have more trading stock, so my assets will increase with 4,000 rand. We are buying this inventory on credit, so we owe money to the creditors. So the account credited will be creditors control, because creditors is a liability and liabilities increase on the credit side. We owe more money to the creditors, so our liabilities will increase with 4,000 rand. Okay, no entry was recorded for the 1,000. Sold goods for cash 1,500, and the entity maintains a profit of 50% on the cost price. Okay, so my sales price is 1,500. The cost price is 100% because the profit is made on cost price. So cost price is 100, profit is 50%, sales price is 150%. Okay, they give us the sales price as 1,500. So I will show here the sales price 1,500, and I will calculate the cost price. The percentage that we want is at the top. The percentage that we know is at the bottom, times 1,500. 500, and that gives me 1,000 rand. So the cost price of these goods are 1,000 rand. When we record this, we will do 2 double entries. 1 double entry at sales price and 1 double entry at cost price. So the sales price tells us that one of these two accounts must be sales, and the other one will depend on whether we're selling it for cash or on credit. Sales is an income. Income increases on the credit side, so sales will be credited with a total amount of 1,500 that we sold it for. Sales is an income. Income increases the profits, so the owner will get more profits, so the owner's equity will increase with 1,500. In this case, we sold the goods for cash, so the bank is debited. Bank is an asset. Assets increase on the debit side. I have more money in the bank, so my assets increase with 1,500. Okay, at the cost price, the one entry must be cost of sales, and we are taking things from the shelves, and all the stock on the shelves is called my trading stock. So now I have less trading stock. Assets increase on the debit side, decrease on the credit side. So if I have less trading stock, it means that I must credit my trading stock account to indicate that the amount of stock decreased. We calculated that this amount is 1,000 rand, so that means we've got less assets because the stock decreased. Then cost of sales is debited. Cost of sales is an expense. That is the expense that we had to be able to sell the goods. So expenses increase on the debit side. If I pay expense, it will reduce my profit. So it means that the owner will get less profit. So I will indicate that owner's equity decreases with 1,000 rand. In number 4, issued a cheque to Linwood Wholesalers to pay 40% of the outstanding debt. We are giving a cheque, so it means that we are paying money to a creditor to pay part of our debt. Now, we owe him 2,000. We can't afford at this stage to pay the full 2,000, so we only pay 40% of the 2,000. Okay, so the amount that he owes is 2,000, and we must determine what is 40% of that 2,000, and that gives me 800 rand. So the amount that we will write the cheque for will be 800 rand. Okay, so if we issue a cheque, it's bank, assets increase on the debit side, so assets decrease on the credit side. We owe less money to the creditor. Creditor is a liability. Liabilities increase on the credit side, so they decrease on the debit side. And I will show that creditors' control will be debited. And because we pay them, we owe them less money. So it means the liabilities decrease with 800 in the creditors' control account on the debit side. Bank, we paid out money. Now we have less assets. Assets increase on the debit side, decrease on the credit side. So my assets will decrease with 800 rand. Okay, issued a receipt to P. Brown for rent of one of the offices. If we give a receipt to someone, it means that we received money. So the business received 900 from a tenant that rents one of the offices of the business. So that is money coming into the business. So I will show that bank account is debited. Bank is an asset. Assets increase because we have more money in the bank now. The money that we receive is rent, and because we have a rent expense account and a rent income, you will open two separate accounts. So I will show that rent income will be credited. Income increases the profits, so the owner will receive more profits, so the owner's equity will increase with 900 Rand. Low paid 400 with an EFT in the account of Blue Traders to settle his account. Okay, now this one is very important because an EFT can either be someone paying money into your account, then you're receiving money, or you can use an EFT to pay other people, then you are paying money. So you must determine before you do the entry whether this money was received via EFT or whether it was paid out. Low paid 400 in the account of Blue Traders. We are Blue Traders, so it means that we receive the money. And he's settling his account, so it means he's paying his debt and he's a debtor. So I'm receiving money, so I will debit the bank account and I will show that I have 400 Rand more in the bank account. The debtors is also an asset. They owe me less money now, so it means that I must decrease them. So I will credit debtors control. And because debtors control is also an asset, it means that my assets decrease with 400 Rand. So what happened here? We changed one asset into another asset. Okay, so it means that's why it's actually a naught effect in total, because it was one asset changed into another asset. What's very important is that you must remember assets equals owner's equity plus liabilities. So when you do this effect on the accounting equation, you must remember that everything that's on this side of the equation, you must do something the same on the other side, so that the total effect on the debit side will be the same as the effect on the credit side. I hope today's lesson helped you and that you understand this work better. Remember, you can't do accounting equation if you don't know exactly what is assets, liabilities, income, expenses. So make sure that you know the terminology and that you know exactly what is the assets and the liabilities. And then whenever you do this, write your word at the top so it's easier to think it out every time and to say the two outside increases on the debit side, the inside increases on the credit side. I hope you've learned something today. Good luck. Go and try a lot of exercises.